Hello and welcome to the state I'm in, where every conversation points north. Here, we discuss the topics that Alaskans and perhaps everyone may care about. I'm your host, Manny Coelho, a fellow Alaskan and your guide to the conversations that Alaskans want to hear from the individuals who are leading the way. My guest today is Clare Henry. Clare is a lifelong Alaskan who grew up on the Kenai Peninsula. From an early age, she had a passion, a love, and a special talent for music, both as a musician and a singer and songwriter. At just 18 years old, however, Clare experienced a medical emergency that would leave her paralyzed from the chest down. With her whole life in front of her, holding on to dreams of attending a school of music outside of the state, in a single moment, everything changed. The uncertainty, the physical setbacks, the long road of rehab, and the question of whether the dream she had worked toward was still even possible. But what stands out about Clare is not what happened to her, but how she responded to it. Her attitude, her determination, her faith, and a refusal to let a devastating diagnosis become the final word in her story. In this conversation, we talk about her early influences and background in music, the day that changed her life forever, and the very real challenges that followed, physically, mentally, and emotionally. We get into the support system that carried her, the motivation that pushed her forward, and her relentless commitment to still attend music school across the country despite the circumstances. You will also get to hear some of the powerful assignments that Clare has been creating while attending Berklee School of Music. Work that proves her talent didn't disappear when her circumstances changed. I'm so thankful that Clare could join me in the studio today to talk about this amazing comeback story. And what I appreciate is that this isn't one that is wrapped up neatly. Clare is still in ongoing rehab. She's still working to regain function and even now is undergoing therapy to help her regain what was lost. Reflecting on this conversation, I'm reminded that life, like music, holds dissonance and harmony. Each has a role, each contributes to the larger composition. And Clare reminds us that it's how we choose to see those moments that gives them meaning. And now, my conversation with Clare Henry. Does it feel weird coming home on breaks?
It feels weird at first, it's like a good weird. I'm like, ooh, like this is different and I like it. I have my own bathroom.
Right.
I don't have to wear shower shoes.
Mom's cooking for me.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, Dad, can you please cook me pozole?
Or
like, Mom,
hold up. Your dad knows how to make pozole?
really good pozole.
What?
Like really good. Maybe we should invite you over and you can try his pozole.
Weigh in on the pozole?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's really good. It's
Cool.
like one of my favorite dishes.
Sweet. Zach knows how to make pozole. I also didn't know that he can play guitar and sing.
He's really
Pretty good.
He's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoy his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It was maybe this was the last break that you were here.
Uh-huh.
Somebody showed me, probably Jenny, a clip of you guys singing and playing guitar
together?
Yeah. And that was really good.
I would love to do a duet with him. Like, I would love to release music and I would love to duet him. Like, him play guitar and then we duet. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. It's just like, I don't know when.
Sure, matter of when. So early influences with music, like, was it basically at home? Was your dad a big influence, or your mom, or was there anyone else like in your family that was like got you into it?
No, yeah, my parents like music.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've grown up in like a pretty musical family. Like pretty much all my grandparents are like my dad's mom, my mom's mom, and then my mom. They all have like really good voices, and my dad plays guitar and then also has a really good voice. And so I've kind of just been like, grown up around it, and my parents have been huge influences. And music teachers, like all my music teachers, they've been really helpful.
I mean, gosh, if music was such a part of your life, there was probably not a whole push to be like, Claire, do you want to have music lessons or voice lessons or anything like that? Like, what are the earliest memories of doing it outside of just being at home and singing or learning how to play instruments? When did it become official?
Yeah. I went to Cook Inlet Academy, and we had a music teacher there, Dan Johnson, and he gave me lessons, and then I also performed at Cook Inlet. So that was kind of, I think, my first like my first voice lessons.
How old were you during that time?
I must have been in like 3rd grade.
Okay.
Yeah, 3rd, 4th grade, I think.
All right.
And then I transferred. I guess I went to Audra Calloway at the time. Audra Ferris, but Audra Calloway is the choir teacher at So High. I did music lessons with her, like I want to say like 5th or 6th grade.
Okay.
And she has been like, I would not be anywhere near where I am today without, like, she has been a tremendous help. Like so talented. She's so talented, like classically trained, like
Okay.
really good. A really good person and has a really good voice.
Yeah.
So I have really enjoyed taking lessons with her, and I stopped my junior year of high school just because she was teaching choir and we were just kind of getting busy. But also like, I played in the orchestra and then also the jazz band at So High, and Mark Urich he's the band professor or band instructor at So High and then also at Skyview. But he's been a huge influence as well. Yeah, loved playing with him in the orchestra too. Actually, he played in the orchestra and in band.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And are those people are probably still around, right? Still on the peninsula?
Yeah, they're still. And actually, I forgot to mention another person, Maria Allison. She's a very accomplished pianist. I took lessons with her like I think my junior and senior year of high school. Or no, my senior year of high school, and then when I took a gap year, I was taking lessons with her. And she's just like phenomenal, and she's accompanied me many times, like since I've started performing.
Cool.
And so she's been amazing and is amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Clare Henry, thank you so much for being here
Thank
today
you for
and talking to me.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Of course. Yeah, you're here visiting from Boston, and you grew up here on the Kenai Peninsula, right?
Yeah.
So did you grow up in Soldotna, technically?
Yeah. So I actually was born in Nashville, Tennessee, and then my parents moved to Soldotna when I was under a year old. I don't know exactly. I think it may have been like 5 months or something.
Okay.
But I was under a year old. They moved here, so I've grown up here.
Okay.
And I have loved living here in Alaska. It's so different than everywhere else, but I love it. It's been amazing.
Something that you realize now as like a young adult, or something that you knew even while you were growing up here, that like this is an awesome place?
I mean, I loved it when I was little, but I think going to Boston and then coming back, I'm like, oh wow, it's like we live very differently. Like I feel like a hillbilly going to Boston. Yeah, everybody's just like dressed to the T. Like it's a very different lifestyle.
Yeah, it's stressful over there too. Super fast paced.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the East Coast mentality is just different than. I grew up on the West Coast anyways, and it's much more chill, relaxed. And yeah, East Coast is is culture shock for sure, let alone coming from Alaska. So
yeah, I definitely don't like, I mean, the city's fine. I think if I was to be in a city, Boston's great. Like I like it, but I definitely prefer small town.
Yeah.
I'm a small town girl.
So what kind of things what kind of things were you into growing up here?
I loved anything outdoors. So like fishing, hunting, camping, hiking, like exploring, like I love any of that. So like Alaska's a great place to be for that.
Yeah, totally.
And I don't know, just some hobbies. I love reading. I like doing puzzles. I like I don't know, walking.
Yeah.
I feel like a grandma sometimes. Mentally, like internally I'm a grandma in a young body.
Are you speed walking in like a full tracksuit though?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I need to do that. That's
You have the perfect dad for adventuring in Alaska.
Oh yeah.
I recently was talking to Jenny, and she's like, "Zach's out hunting. I haven't heard from him in a couple days." I'm like, "Are you
I hope
worried?
He's still alive."
Yeah. Like, are you worried? It's like this is when like there's crazy windstorms and stuff. Yeah. And she's like, "Yeah, I'll wait a couple days before I get worried." And then thankfully everything was fine.
Yeah. We'll check the news.
Yeah.
Hope everything's okay.
Your dad seems like a really cool dude.
Oh yeah. He's awesome.
Your family's great. I've got to meet them just through work at the hospital and kind of intersected with your family around the time, which we'll talk about a little bit later, a crazy event that happened in your life. And so for me, a newcomer to like this awesome family and friend group, I was like, This is unreal. Like,
Yeah.
one, what happened, and then two, just the amazing support that you had around you.
Oh,
But
yeah. Yeah, thanks.
growing up, what instruments jumped out to you? Like, what do you remember learning how to play first?
So I took piano when I was really little. I started piano, and I didn't really practice when I was little, as little kids do. They don't practice usually. So I've done piano ever since I was like, I want to say like 8
Mm,
or so. And then I learned clarinet in 3rd grade.
okay.
And then I don't know, it's kind of like a high, like learning new instruments.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is awesome.
In 3rd grade,
And
was
then
that part of school, or was that just
yeah, no, that was
independently?
part of
Okay.
band. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
I learned, so I did clarinet like 3rd through 6th grade, and then I kind of stopped, and then I picked up piano again, and then I wanted to learn the cello. So
Awesome.
I just got a cello off of Facebook Marketplace. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for paying for that. And so I was learning cello, and I didn't have a teacher because there's not a lot of music teachers
Mhm.
here on the peninsula. So I was taking online lessons through Eastman School of Music in New York, and I just like joined the orchestra, and I wasn't very good, but I loved it,
Yeah.
and I hope I didn't cause too much trouble, or I didn't make them sound bad or anything.
Oh.
But so I learned cello, and then oh yeah, I was kind of voluntold in jazz band to learn saxophone. I
Hmm.
came in with the impression thinking I was gonna play clarinet,
Mhm.
and Mark Urick,
Mhm.
he just handed me a saxophone. He's like, "Here, you're playing this." So like, okay, I guess I'll learn the
Yeah.
saxophone too. So yeah, it was. I love learning instruments.
So you said learning a new instrument is like a high. Every new
Yeah.
instrument that you get to learn how to
Yes.
play?
My next victim is the French horn. That's my next victim.
Look out, French horns.
I know. Yes,
Claire's coming. Claire's coming for
exactly.
you.
Yeah.
So when you approach a new instrument, is it a new challenge? Is it the challenge the same, and you're like, I'm just gonna learn this
Mhm.
like in a snap, or are there instruments that are harder to learn than others?
Yeah.
What's your experience with that?
So usually, like, so with the cello, I just loved the way that it sounded, and so I was like, oh, I really want to learn that. And when you just like get into something,
Mm,
you're all like hyped up, and you're
yeah.
like, oh, this is awesome, and then you get to a point where like, this is okay. Like, I
Mm,
don't really want to learn it. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Or this is hard. But I love playing like with other people, and so I think joining, like being able to play with other people, like my cello, that encouraged me to keep going.
Yeah.
So it definitely does get hard, but it's like I have a goal. I want to
Mm,
get really good at this, and
yeah.
so I just pursue it
Hmm.
as hard as I can.
So which instruments do you know how to play that you would say that you're proficient at?
hmm
And what are your favorite?
I would say I'm most proficient at piano, and then I can't play these instruments right now, but I was pretty proficient in clarinet and saxophone, and I was definitely getting way better with cello.
Okay.
Um, and I don't know, I guess you could say ukulele. I feel like everybody knows how to play the ukulele. It's just
Yeah.
like, like simple chords,
Yeah.
But piano is the easiest for me to play, and then obviously singing. But
Yeah.
yeah, piano's my favorite.
When did you start to become more serious about singing?
I think I think it had its own spot. Like I think like my mom knew that I had something special before I did, and then she encouraged me and like put me in like had me perform at Cook Inlet, and put me in lessons,
Mm.
and so I kind of grew up like I thought I thought that everybody had like I thought that everybody was the same. Like we had the same like abilities
Mm.
with singing, and which
You
is
didn't
kind
reali
of funny.
you didn't realize that not everyone can sing?
Yeah, yeah. No, I think at one point I like walked past, my mom and I walked past the there was a choir concert at SoHi, and we walked past, there were open doors, and I turned to my mom, I'm like, why do they sound like that? And I don't remember this, but she told me this, and like it wasn't necessarily that they were singing bad. It was just
Mhm.
maybe like the tone, or the
Mhm.
you know what I mean, like maybe
Yeah.
a little bit of pitch, like. But I just thought everybody had the same as I did, and I didn't
Mm.
really understand until I was a little bit older.
Got ya.
But I grew up because my mom did all of that, like encouraged me and put me in all these different things.
Mhm.
I kind of just grew up knowing that I was, like, oh, I'm able to sing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting. Did you feel at home on stage performing? Like, that can be kind of
Scary.
nerve-wracking or
Uh-huh.
scary for some people, especially kids. I mean,
Mhm.
gosh, I just went to a Christmas concert and, like, you
Yeah.
see the kids that are terrified, and then you
Mhm.
see the kids that are absolutely like, "This is what I was
Thriving.
born to do,
Yes.
is
Yeah,
be on the
yeah,
stage in
yeah.
front of people." How did you feel?
It's kind of weird. I think singing in front of a lot of people is easier than singing in a smaller group of people.
Interesting.
Like, I would rather sing in, like, with a huge crowd versus, like,
Mm.
5 people,
Yeah.
which is really weird, and I think it's maybe just because with the 5 people, you're more vulnerable. Like, you have more of, like, a personal connection with them, and on stage, it's just like, "Oh, show up, sing," and then, it's not really like you have a personal connection with each and every one of them. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which my dad is, like, the total opposite. I think he would prefer singing in a smaller group versus a larger group.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I still get nervous,
Yeah.
but I would rather sing for a big group.
Mm. Cool.
Yeah.
So, when did you realize that music might be, like, the path? It was
Mhm.
something that you definitely had exposure to
Mhm.
as a child, something that you realized that you had a talent
Mhm.
for, and not only just with musical instruments, but in singing.
Yeah.
And as that developed in high school and through all these private lessons and extracurricular things that you were
Mhm.
doing, when did you think that maybe it might be something you wanted to do, like, as an adult?
Pursue.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
pursue is like perhaps a career
Mhm.
or a big next step.
Um, I think I went through a couple of different, like, phases in
Mm,
high school, like, "Oh, I wanna do this, and I wanna do this." I think I had a phase of wanting to be a surgeon,
mm,
or, like, a nurse or something. Um, and then, like, a finance, I kind of was into finance. Um, but I think I realized that I wanted to pursue it, like, my senior year of high school, um, and during my gap year,
mm,
I decided that I wanted to pursue that. Um, beforehand, I was thinking about it. I wasn't really that big of I wasn't really enjoying lessons that much.
mm,
But I think as I got older and realized that there's more avenues than just singing. You know what I
mm.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's more out there. I think I was like, pretty interested in it.
Mm. At what point, or I guess what was the process of applying to schools? Like, when
Mhm.
you decide, like, "Hey, I wanna do this, I wanna pursue music."
Mhm.
Like, where do you even start? Like, where do you start looking?
So we just kind of I just like look up 12 best music schools
Yeah.
or just kind of surf online, but
Uh,
we looked at or I applied to like Florida State, Biola, University of Cincinnati, and then also kind of the top dogs like
mm, yeah.
Juilliard and obviously Berkeley,
Mm,
New England Conservatory,
okay.
Eastman, like just kind of all the good music schools.
Mm,
Um So I applied to most of those.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what's the process? Like, if you're a music school, I think of traditional school you apply to, and they're looking at, like, your
Mhm.
academic transcripts and
Yeah.
your maybe your work history or
Mhm.
experiences and stuff like that. With a music school, I feel like you could say you play a million
Yeah, yeah,
instruments and,
yeah.
like, you can
Uh-huh.
say that you're sing, but, like, do they just accept anybody? Like, what are the
Yeah.
qualifications that they look for?
This kind of different for each school. They kind of have their own way of going about, like, accepting students and just how they do that. Um, it was honestly really complicated
Mm,
with applying to more than 5 schools, like, that it just makes it super complicated because each school has their own criteria. So
okay.
you're learning, like, different songs for each school, and,
Mm,
you basically have to submit 2 applications, academic application and then a musical application,
I see.
which
Okay.
makes it also
Yeah.
double hard.
Mhm.
Uh, you usually have to go through pre-auditions which is an audition before an audition, just to make
Okay.
sure that they're not wasting their time
Yeah,
with
it's
people.
it's not like the outtakes
Yeah.
of American Idol.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Um, so that kinda made it complicated. They each yeah, like I said, they each had their own, like, criteria for what songs they wanted people to audition with and,
Mm.
all that. And so it wasn't a super enjoyable
Yeah.
process, to be
Okay.
honest.
So you're in the middle of going down that route with
Yeah.
school, considering where you wanted to apply
Hmm.
and just in the midst of that big process.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty serious event occurred
Hmm.
for you. I'm just calling it the
The
event,
event,
the event.
yes.
But walk me through what happened that day.
Hmm. Should I explain the college thing or should I do that later?
Yeah, if you wanted to talk about that, since we
Hmm.
were just discussing
Yeah.
that, talk about that and then
Okay.
move into this. That
Okay.
actually be a pretty good
Okay.
transition. Yeah.
Okay. So after high school, I decided to take a gap year, or it was kind of a pseudo gap year. So because I was taking online classes, just because I didn't want to be doing nothing.
Mm.
So I was taking classes. I decided to apply for the spring semester to some colleges. So I applied to like, I want to say like 6 colleges, and Berklee College of Music in Boston was one of those. So I I don't know if I got into all of them, but I got into most of them, and I didn't I ended up not really feeling ready to go to college, and then also I didn't get the scholarship that I wanted to go to Berkeley. I think I
Oh,
got like a
yeah, that's right.
quarter or half off or something,
Mm.
which like 70 grand a year is
Hmm.
a
Yeah.
little much. But so I was just going to wait till the next fall. So I was in the process of applying for the next fall. I think I applied to like 11 different schools,
Mm.
and Berkeley was obviously one of them. My mom, so we did pre-auditions. The pre-auditions that I passed, which I think were most of them, my mom and I planned a trip for like a week-long trip for in February to live audition
Okay.
to like it was like 6 or 7 different schools. It was a crazy amount. But we like orchestrated this whole plan, and Berkeley sadly at the time was one of the only schools that I wasn't able to audition live.
Mm.
So we had to do it in January instead of February. So my audition was on, I think it was like the 22nd of January.
And this is what year?
This is 2020 four,
Okay.
right?
I think so. We're in 26
Wait,
now.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
2024. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So 2024, I applied to different colleges, had an online Zoom audition with Berkeley. It went well. And at the time, I think it was either that day or the following day, I started experiencing upper back slash lower, no, lower neck pain.
Mm.
And it was like nerve pain. It kind of felt like I slept wrong, but it was different. Like I kept telling my parents it was nerve pain.
Mm.
Every time I lifted my arms, or bent my head forward or back or like looked up,
Mm.
it was just like excruciating, sharp pain.
Mm.
And it like every time I'd do that, it'd take the breath out of me.
Mm.
That's how I explain it. It's like, it was super weird. But anyway, so I did the audition. That starts happening at that time. 2 days later, it was like, it was like 2 or 3 days later. It was a Wednesday. It was January 24th. My dad and I get up. We go cross-country skiing because the Solteshi trails,
Mm.
cross-country skiing trails are right behind our house,
Awesome.
which is awesome. But we went cross-country skiing, came home, made breakfast, and then I went to my piano lesson. And I think it was about 15 to 20 minutes into my piano lesson, my fingers and my arms started feeling really heavy. They were just like so heavy. And I was playing the piano when it started happening. So I was like, oh, feels really weird. And then it progressed to like having back, and I think my back pain, my clavicles were hurting, like my chest, it
Mm.
hurt to breathe. I think my neck started hurting. Um and it was just it was like severe pain, but it was very uncomfortable.
Mm.
Like, when you're like squirming because it hurts so bad,
Yeah.
you like really want to cry, but
Mhm. You're like,
like
how do I
you
get out of
can't.
this
You're like,
position that's
yeah, how do I
painful?
like make this go away?
Yeah.
I was like squirming around trying to find like a comfortable position. I like could not. Um, and meanwhile, this is going on while she's like explaining stuff to me. Like, I'm trying to play the piano while this is happening, and then she starts demonstrating something. And then, she, like, finally looks at me and says, like, "Claire, are you okay?" And then I just immediately start, like, crying. I'm
Hmm.
like I tell her that I've had upper back pain, nerve pain, I think it has something to do with that, I need to go to the hospital.
Hmm.
And, I never say I need to go to the hospital, so, like, when I say that, it, like, actually is serious.
Hmm.
So I call my mom, she tells me to come in.
Which
Um
we didn't discuss this, but your mom is a nurse
Yeah,
practitioner
she was on
on the
shift that
peninsula
day,
and
yeah.
working in the emergency department.
Yeah, 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 which is kind of funny, not funny, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, um, Maria Allison, my piano instructor, brings me to the hospital, my dad meets her there, or me there, sorry.
Hmm.
My dad meets me there, I walk into the hospital, and I'm my mom's patient, which is kind of ironic.
Yeah.
So I'm my mom's patient, I go into this room and they're, kind of testing my strength. And I think that they tested my hands first and they were, like, weaker, they
Hmm.
were, like, not how they should be. And then they kind of moved down to my legs. They felt weak, but I don't think that they were weak, but they felt it.
Hmm.
They handed me a pen to sign something, and I couldn't grab the pen, like, I just, like, couldn't grab it.
Hmm.
And I think that that is when my dad, like fear just set in, like, he realized, like, "Oh, something's, like, really wrong." Because I don't think that he like, like, you go to the
Yeah.
hospital, nothing looks wrong, and you're
Hmm.
like, well, I don't know, this could be just,"
Yeah.
Um
Red flag for him.
Yeah, 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 like, just fear set in. Um, so at that point, I think I started getting a little bit emotional and like, "Oh my gosh, what is going on?" And I went to a lot of did a lot of testing, like MRIs and, like, spinal taps, and I think it was, before I did all the testing, I think I was, like, paralyzed from the chest down.
Hmm.
It took, like, a couple of hours, and I was just, like, paralyzed from the chest down,
Wow.
um, which was, uh, very scary.
Yeah. It didn't happen like I mean, it seemed like the onset was sudden, but kind of this
Yeah,
gradual, like
mhm,
you were playing
definitely,
and then
yeah.
then it was more difficult and then
Mhm.
eventually you're not able even to grasp a pen.
Yeah, yeah.
And then so you're saying that like it just function just kind of dwindled.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
Wow.
And one thing that I'm super grateful for is I never lost my shoulders and then also my biceps.
Hmm.
So I was able to, like, bring my arms up and flex my biceps, like, bring my arm towards me.
Okay.
And then I also had my wrist, what do you call this? Flexor?
Yeah, flexing like
Flexing?
yeah.
Yeah, so
Mm,
flexing upward.
mhm.
I never lost that.
Okay.
But, like, palm up and then flexing towards me, I couldn't do that, and then I didn't have my triceps,
Wow.
and then everything from chest and down, I didn't
Wow.
have. So,
And this happened within a period of minutes,
like,
hours?
I'd say a couple hours, yeah,
Wow.
which it honestly is kind of all a blur. Like, it felt like, when I look back, I'm like, "Oh, it didn't happen very fast."
Hmm.
Like, it just kind of time flies by when you're doing all these
Yeah.
things. Um, but
And your mental faculties are all there. You're just
uh
you're watching function from your hands and your
Mhm.
feet, you basically from your chest down, like you
Yeah.
said, just kind of go away.
Mhm.
But like cognitively, you're tracking everything that's happening.
Yeah, yeah, I it's yeah, like I said, it's, like, it's hard to remember
Hmm.
exactly what I was thinking and, what I was feeling, but, um, I do remember, like, every time I saw somebody that I knew, I would start crying,
Mm.
and it wasn't, like, hysterical crying, it was just, like, it would just make me emotional, and asking my parents what I what their perspective of me was, like, they said that I was very calm, like,
Mm.
and I do remember, like, not like, I was just very calm, just taking it all in, like, I can't do anything about this situation, we just have to wait and
Mm.
try to figure out what this is. Um, so I did, MRIs. I do remember crying in the MRI machine,
Mm.
which, uh, was, yeah, pretty sad. There's, like, a little mirror where you can see the people
Oh.
who are doing your MRI and, like, my mom and, like, other
Mm.
people that I knew were in there. Um, and then, yeah, spinal tap, and the spinal tap guy was, like, telling me dad jokes while I'm, like, I can't roll over, like, people are, like, holding me, and I'm, like, I honestly was able to have a conversation. I was, like, kind of trying to laugh, make him feel good about his jokes.
Gotcha.
While I'm just, like,
Yeah.
um, so, yeah, I eventually end up in, like, a room and, like, family comes to visit and, I I don't know if any friends came. I think it was just family because
Yeah.
we just at that point they were the only ones that knew. All the doctors were coming in, and and yeah, I mean, I was able to have like conversation. I mean, I think I was still in kind of like shock,
Mm.
like what is going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was just laying there. I guess the bed was comfortable. I don't know.
This is still the ER though.
Yeah, this is
Correct.
still
Okay.
the
All
ER.
right.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. What
Yeah.
when you look back, because your mom is your provider. I know that she's,
Yeah.
she works with doctors as well, but
Mhm.
like your mom was like, "Oh, Claire's coming in. I'll, find out what's going on
Yeah.
with Claire." And then it's
Mhm.
like, "Oh my gosh."
Oh.
When you look back on that, like, how do you talk to your mom about that whole scenario? Like, was she like, I mean, it's probably your worst nightmare to have to take
Mhm.
care of your own kid or
Yeah.
family member, someone you love.
Yeah.
What was that like for her, do you think?
I think I haven't asked her recently, but from what I remember, when I did ask her, she said that I think she just kind of put her emotions to the side and was just like, we need to figure out what this is. And she was doing every test that she could think of. Like, she was bringing in doctors that she knew and, like, she
Mhm.
was just trying to figure out what this was and make sure that it didn't progress
Mhm.
more than what it had done.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think she just kind of like disconnected for a little bit. And then
Mhm.
obviously when we're just like sitting in the room, like it kind
Yeah.
of all hits. But
Mm.
um I think that's I don't want to like
Gotcha. Sure.
say the wrong thing that
Yeah, no.
what she was feeling, but I'm pretty sure that's what
Wow.
I remember her saying.
Gosh, yeah, it would be wild to
Mhm.
be in that scenario.
Yeah.
So all this testing is being done
Mhm.
in the ER, and then at what point they're like, "We got to get you somewhere else
Uh-huh.
to find out what's going on." What
Yeah.
happened um, once you left here?
Yeah, so they thought they were trying to figure out what it was. There were a couple like diseases or infections on the table. And botulism was one of them because I had made kimchi before and I was eating it like that week.
Hmm.
So my dad had to like go get it, bring the kimchi in to get tested.
Gotcha. Okay.
And because they were thinking it was possibly kimchi, Regional Hospital in Anchorage is the only hospital in Alaska. I'm pretty sure this is true.
Hmm.
The only hospital in Alaska that had the medicine to help with that.
Okay.
And so they flew me and my mom to Anchorage to that hospital to get that medicine.
Okay.
Um, and then so my dad stayed at home, and then he came up like a couple days later. But I was admitted to the ICU. Uh, I was being taken care of,
Hmm.
and they also thought it could have been. I can't remember which one I was getting the plasmapheresis for, but neuromyelitis optica and then transverse myelitis.
Okay.
Um, we were doing plasmapheresis, where it's like where they put a tube in one of, I don't know if it's like your external or internal jugular vein.
Okay.
Um, and they transfer your blood out. They like filter your blood
Oh,
and take out
gotcha.
all the bad toxins.
Okay.
And with one of those, it's either neuromyelitis optica or transverse myelitis. One of those, it's supposed to help with that, like
Okay.
help improve.
Hmm.
I don't, we don't think that worked because I didn't have that,
Okay.
or we don't think that I had that. Um, so, but it was like the second day in the ICU, and that was the first time we saw improvement. It was
Hmm.
like very little improvement. Like I could wiggle my big toe.
Yeah.
Barely.
Man.
It was just like such
Because there's
yeah.
nothing like you completely paralyzed from chest
Yeah.
down.
Mhm.
Um, so that's an interesting point to make. Is that
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know if I'll ever be able
Yeah. Mhm.
to move
Yeah. Again.
my
Yeah.
limbs again.
Mhm.
So it was the second day in the ICU
It
at
was like the
regional.
second or third day.
Okay,
Yeah. Mhm.
that you were able to wiggle a toe.
Wiggle my toe. Yes, I have a video of it. It's like it was the biggest like hope, like
Yeah.
just like, oh my gosh. Like, wow, I may actually improve a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then, so when did they realize that the botulism thing might not be what it
What it
was?
was. Yeah, I think that just the test came in and it
Okay.
was negative, which I'm glad it was negative because I poured my heart and soul into that kimchi and it was really good. And so I'm glad it wasn't my kimchi.
Yeah.
We did throw it away, sadly,
Okay.
just because I don't
Mhm.
know, like had connection to trauma, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And everybody was scared of
Mm.
possibly getting botulism, I guess, even though it tested negative.
They're like, we're not taking any chances.
Any chances, yeah. And so I think the test came in and they were able to rule that out. But the others weren't able to rule them out so easily. Like it kind of took a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I imagine specialists and these doctors and everyone's just kind of like, what is going on? You've had every test that you can have, and nobody is quite certain what happened. And so even from regional, you ended up going somewhere else, right? So what was kind of the consensus when you were at regional on what was going on, and then their next steps for you?
Yeah. So regional, we kind of just put a hold on it. Like, we don't know what this is. So we're just gonna, focus on improving for right now. We're just gonna focus on improving and, giving you the best care that we can give you, which, I don't think that regional wasn't a very nice place to be. They weren't as, helpful as I think that like Providence would have been.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so we spent like, I think it was a little less than a month in the hospital, and
Wow.
like my vitals were really bad. My heart rate was like, I got to the 30s actually,
Yikes.
which is not good. And my blood pressure, I think when I was sick, because I got sick from like UTIs and stuff, it was like 70/40, my blood pressure.
Oh my gosh.
And it wasn't much better when I wasn't sick, which actually, because of that, I passed out and I think my heart stopped for like 10 seconds.
What?
I can't remember what it's exactly called, but I had to get a pacemaker put in.
Wow.
And yeah, around February, I think it was after Valentine's Day, we ended up leaving regional and went to UW in Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
So we went to that hospital and inpatient therapy.
Yeah. So beyond just the paralysis, you were having all this like physiological stuff going on.
Yeah.
Blood pressure tanking, heart rate being out of whack.
Yeah, and it's hard like when you can't go to physical therapy because your blood pressure is so bad.
Yeah.
Like I can't sit up without having to like adapt for 5 minutes.
Could you sit up on your own while you were in regional?
Yeah, so I guess starting from when I could wiggle my toe to when we left, like I had been improving gradually throughout that time. I ended up getting to the place where I could stand up and I could walk barely with help, with a lot of help. But for the most of the time I was just, stuck in bed. I was bedridden. And I had improvement in my leg, and I could wiggle it, and then the next day I was able to move my other leg a little bit better, and then the next day I could lift it up just a tiny bit. Like it was just such slow improvement.
Yeah.
But I was working really hard to improve as much as I could, just because I really wanted to like get out of bed.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Nearly a month, and then even longer because you left. You ended up going to Washington after that. But
yeah.
what's your mindset during that time? Like you're already experiencing something that you like have no idea why it happened, and then you're not really getting any answers. Like what keeps you going in those times when you look back?
I definitely think my parents like played a huge role in my mindset, or just how I guess good you could say, I guess. My mindset was like they waited on me hand and foot. They were like my servants. So they were like huge help. Like they went and got me food. Like I refused to eat the hospital food, so I was constantly eating like tomatoes and bell peppers and berries and all of the, I guess, I don't know, my body was craving like I don't know, vitamins or something.
Yeah.
But
hospital food for like a day is rough enough, let alone like a month of it.
My mom tried to get me to eat protein jello from the cafeteria. It tasted horrible. It's like one of the worst things I've ever tasted. It is so bad. It is horrible. I refused to eat it.
Mm.
But yeah, they like every single night the CNAs weren't really doing their job and they weren't turning me every 2 hours, which you're supposed to so you don't get bed sores.
Yeah.
They weren't doing that, and so my parents had to get up every 2 hours and turn me onto
Mm.
my other side, which was, I'm sure, so tiring for them.
Mm.
And just like the mental toll of being in a little room,
Yeah.
like for almost pretty much a month, like
Yeah.
that's just, I mean, the room was really small and we were in there for a long time.
Yeah.
So it was, they really helped with my mental,
Hmm.
um, with my mental health.
Yeah.
And then also I think just keeping busy helped. Like all the support, community support, family, friends, people I didn't even know,
Mm.
um, that they were so, like, encouraging and that really helped.
Mm.
And then, like I said, staying busy, like, watching my 600-pound life, which I looked forward to watching.
Yeah.
We did, like, a lot of therapy and, just talking with doctors and nurses, like, making friends with them and
Yeah.
actually, like, talking about something fun instead
Mm.
of, just medical stuff.
Yeah. At some point, a Facebook page or group started
Mhm.
called Notes for Claire, which
Yeah,
was really cool. I don't know who started that. Do you
yeah.
remember?
Um, I wanna say, um
Because I don't know if there was like an
I think it
author
was
or
my
just
parents. I
was
wanna
it
say it was
parents?
my parents
Yeah.
just saying, like, "Can you pray for us, please?" And
Yeah.
then it kind of just, like, transpired to, "Oh, we'll post updates," and then
Yeah.
people joined and
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
That's when like I said before, I kind of came into this whole story at that point
Yeah.
because I had recently started working at the urgent care, kind of intersected with a family friend of yours,
Yeah. Mhm.
and then I already kind of knew your mom a little bit, but then just working in the urgent care setting, you just get to know people a
Yeah.
lot more and realize that there's this whole friend group that's like been hanging out forever
Yeah.
and just really tight, really close. And my perspective with that was just I was just blown away by one, the amount of support that you had, but
Yeah,
then two,
seriously, yeah.
watching your
Mm.
progress, like knowing this crazy situation
Mhm.
happened with all these question marks, and then watching your response to it, which was pretty optimistic,
Yeah.
pretty like, I'm super excited about this toe that I can move today. And
Yes.
like genuinely just you were bright and optimistic and just this
Yeah,
resilience
thank you.
kind of exuded from
Mhm.
you. And I'm putting myself in your shoes and I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't know if I could like
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I could be that
Mhm.
optimistic about the situation,
Mhm.
especially because of the question marks surrounding it.
Yeah, yeah.
But as I looked at the way that you were progressing and even with the small little victories,
Mhm.
it seemed like your attitude wasn't like, "Why did this happen?" It
Mhm.
was like, "What's the next thing
Step.
that I can
Yeah.
achieve? What's the
Yeah.
next step that I could take?"
Mhm.
And that is a special perspective to have
Yeah, thank
and
you.
direction to have.
Yeah.
And so very encouraging for me. And I'm
Yeah, thank
sure
you. I'm
all those people in
glad,
that group
yeah.
were like rooting for you, but then also doing a little self-examination
Mhm.
on their own lives
Yeah.
to be like, would I respond the same way if I was put in that
Mhm.
situation? So
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Um,
I appreciate that.
so still all these question marks kind of surrounding you.
Mhm.
You made some progress from when you first got to regional,
Mhm.
and then they were like, "We're going to send you over to inpatient rehab." Do you want to
Uh-huh.
talk about that experience?
Yeah. So, um, I guess maybe going back to, yeah, so I was transferred to UW in Seattle, and, um, that was around Valentine's Day, and I started physical therapy, but at the time I think I got a UTI, and so I got kind of sick, like,
Mm.
really sick, and I started regressing. So at that point,
Hmm.
like, I was able to stand up. My mom would, like, hug me, and then we could stand up together
Okay.
and kind of, like, walk just a little bit. She had to hold most of my weight, but, um, I started regressing because of I was just getting sick from the UTI,
Hmm.
and so that was really, like, discouraging, um, or, like, not encouraging, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, so I wanna say it was, like, about a week later, I started improving, and we were doing, I think it's, like, physical therapy or OT like 3 times a day, in all. It was 3 times a day, and felt like being in a little room for so long, it feels like a prison.
Mm.
Um, so that was kind of hard. I feel like I had a harder time at inpatient rehab than I did in Alaska, but, I started I guess there was one day, which I guess maybe let me go back to Alaska Regional
Sure.
Hospital. It was really weird because I was, constantly improving little by little. But there was this one day we had family friends visiting us and me in the hospital, and they were talking to my parents, and I'm just like moving my leg, like moving it back and forth, doing whatever I can, and then I suddenly am just able to like flex my abdomen
Hmm.
and flex my legs and flex my butt,
Hmm.
and it was just like all of a sudden I could do that,
Wow.
and so it was just like, whoa,
Yeah.
this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been so happy to flex my glutes in my life. Um, so that was super encouraging and, like, just a huge, um just gave so much hope, you
Hmm.
know? Um, and that kind of also happened, I guess, going back to Seattle, that happened in the hospital. I was doing physical therapy. I was doing this really hard, at the time, workout, I guess, which was basically just walking around.
Hmm.
I had a walker, and it took work to stand up, so it's like you've done, like, 10 reps of a really heavy weight and you know how it's hard to stand up, like, you're
Hmm.
working to stand up and you just need to sit down. It kind of felt like that.
Hmm.
So, I was trying like, walking around with my walker, and the physical therapist is behind me and, like, helps me when I'm, like, tired and stuff. Later that day, I suddenly just felt like I was like, "Oh, I think, like, I don't know, something's changed, like, I think I can walk."
Hmm.
And I was able just after that, I was able to not walk perfectly, obviously, like, I was still very weak, but I was able to stand without it being a tremendous
Huh.
amount of work,
Wow.
um, which was honestly a miracle.
Yeah.
Like, it was just yeah, it gave so much hope again.
Hmm.
So I was just like, bebopping around, walking around on my walker, and, um it was it that like, just being able to walk is so,
Hmm.
like, I don't know, it's awesome,
Yeah.
you know?
We didn't really talk about this, but how old were you, Claire, when all this went on?
I was 18.
You're
Mhm.
18 years old.
Yeah. So my birthday's in April, so I was 18, um, and I was, turning 19
Hmm.
that following April.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. So weird. It's been 2 years.
Yeah.
A little over 2 years, I think?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Just the thought of, the appreciation for walking, being
Mhm.
in a walker. Usually by the time you're using a walker, you're really advanced in age
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you remember the times where it was easy to walk.
Mhm.
Yeah, just to be
Yeah.
to have that appreciation
Mm.
so young.
Yeah.
It is really cool to hear how those it's like it's a slow crawl and then you have these moments of like you reached a new finish line. It's
Mhm.
almost like the innervation or however it was working coming back was
Yeah.
like we reached a new milestone and then it was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, hey, cool, we got
Yeah.
to this level now."
Yeah, yeah,
You reached
exactly.
another percent of improvement
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's cool that those noticeable markers like that.
Yeah.
I don't guess I would have thought that that was how it would work out,
Mhm,
but
yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, and it really helped, like, my mom and I she'd wheel me around the hospital, and we'd go the first time I went outside, it was like entering heaven, like, I was just so happy, like,
Yeah.
I was touching, like, this tree, and I'm just like, I've never touched a tree before, I'm like, "This is amazing," like, I, like, grabbed a pine cone, I'm pretty sure I, like, I brought it with me to the
Mhm.
hospital because I was just so, like,
Was this
happy to
in Alaska still or in
No, this is in
Washington?
Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah, because I hadn't been outside other than when they transferred me from the EMS to,
Ugh,
like, the airport or wherever, you know?
yeah.
But like, to transfer me to UW. But, yeah, going outside was so nice. So nice. And then when my dad came up to visit, you're not supposed to go outside of hospital grounds,
Mm,
but there was this, like, place across from the hospital, across the road, that you could walk, and there's, like, a pond and stuff. So, my mom, dad, and I all snuck out and went and just,
Rebels.
walk. I know, exactly. Yeah, seriously. Me with my walker, my granny walker. I'm like
Yeah.
walking, and we went and fed some ducks that we weren't
Mm.
supposed to feed, and some birds, and it was awesome. It was really nice. Yeah.
And how long was that you were there in Washington?
Um, I think around 3 weeks, I want to
Okay.
say. Yeah, which felt like forever,
I bet.
like a long time. It's really funny. So they have a board, and you can write on it. There's like questions, like
Okay.
discharge date, like
Oh,
when you
yeah.
arrived, what date
Pain
it
level, that
is.
like,
Yeah,
those
yeah,
white, yeah,
exactly.
okay.
Has all the smiley faces
Mhm.
on it,
Yep.
and I was so ready to just go. I'm pretty sure I kept bringing this up, like, when am I gonna leave? Like telling the doctors and stuff. And when my dad came and visited, we wrote on the board, well, not me, but he wrote like partly for me,
Mhm.
like the discharge date. We would write tomorrow or immediately, and the doctors would look at it and
Yeah,
like laugh, and
yeah.
yeah, it was just like little things like that
Hoping to
also
catch
helped.
somebody slipping, and they're like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
guess you're leaving
Yeah,
today or
tomorrow? Yeah,
tomorrow." Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, but I guess that goes to, like, how like, keeping the, environment just very light and not taking things too seriously, like, joking around, like, that
Yeah.
really helped, with my, like, mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to, again, just coming back to, like, that, I mean, just the fact that holding a pine cone can bring so much
Yeah.
joy to your life, because
Yeah.
you don't know, I guess, what it's like until you've done it, of
Mhm.
being in a hospital
Yeah.
bed
Mhm.
for months at a time,
Yeah.
and just the little things, and especially just struggling to regain
Mhm.
function of your body
Yeah.
again in the middle of all that. Yeah, there's a lot of things that could get you down.
Yeah.
What role do you think your, like, faith played in those times?
It was a huge, like, probably one of the most, like, foundational
Mm,
things that I could have done there. Um God really was there through the whole thing, and I don't know why he allowed this to happen, but I know that, um, he has given me back a lot of what I lost, and, um, I, trust that he is good. I trust that he is a good God, and he is just, and that something good will come out of this, whether I know that or anybody else knows what it is or not. Like, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes,
yeah.
you know? Um, so it was one of the most
Mm.
important things.
Do you feel like it took your relationship with God to a different level or deeper level?
Yeah, I would say I had I was a believer before, and
Mhm.
I really had a good relationship with him even before, but
Mhm.
um yeah, having something taken away from you that you love, like for me, like music, and then also the ability to walk and to use my hands, it really tests you,
Yeah.
and just having that trust is it, like I said, tests you, and
Yeah. You
just trusting that he's doing what he needs to do, and I don't know why, but he's good, and
yeah.
yeah.
You could have taken a different attitude. You
Mhm.
could have, like, been shaking your fist at the
Mhm.
sky. Many
Yeah.
people may have done that or are doing that
Mhm.
now based on scenarios they
Yeah,
faced in
yeah.
their life, and but to lean into it, I think is, one, very mature on your
Thank you.
end, but also, at least there's an opportunity. I think there's always an opportunity for hope and grace.
Mhm.
God is very graceful
Oh,
with
yeah,
us, but
absolutely.
to lean into that is huge, and
Yeah.
I could see it being a resource for you for
Yeah,
hope
thank you.
and
Mhm.
finding the
Mhm.
brightness and hope in all of
Yeah, and
this.
I did, like, question, like, "Why is this happening to
Mm,
me? Like, this doesn't seem fair, like, it
mm,
doesn't make any sense. This just randomly happens to a healthy 18-year-old girl."
yeah.
Um, and I don't think that that's wrong. I think it's good to, question. It
Mm,
really, I think it grows your relationship with God.
I agree.
Um, and yeah.
At what point are those specialists or doctors in Washington like, "Okay, I guess you can go home now"? Like, did they leave you with any, did you get any answers at that point? Or were they like, go ahead and you're good enough to go back home. We'll keep
Yeah.
doing testing and rehab and see how this progresses. Like, what was the attitude with them finally coming around to releasing you back to home?
I don't think that they had any answers. I mean, just because it's so complicated, like, just they take like, testing takes a long time, and I don't know, I think it was just really complicated to obviously to get an answer because we still don't have, like, a definitive answer.
Mm,
Um, but I was walking at the time, like I said, my dad came because, they gave us I think I had, like, a week or 2 weeks, like, they told us, like, "Okay, you can leave at this time like, this date."
mm,
Um, and, they were just, going through the process of making sure that our house was, disabled friendly,
mm, mhm.
which, eh, is yeah, like, you could say that, but, like, we don't have any railings on our stairs. I mean,
Mm,
there are 2 walls on each side, like,
mm,
um, we have a bridge in our house that doesn't have any railings, like,
mm.
you could fall, like, 10 feet and, I
Yeah.
don't know, hurt yourself.
Mhm.
I did not walk across the bridge, but, thankfully, my room is not across there, but,
Yeah.
um, yeah, so they were just kinda going through that process, and yeah, I was really excited to get home.
Yeah, I bet.
I was
What
so excited.
and what was that like coming back?
It was so nice. It
Yeah.
was really nice. I remember, getting home from I was the Kenai airport.
Mm,
We, uh, flew into the Kenai airport and got off the plane, and I can kind of like, it's hard to walk, but I can kind of walk a little bit. And I remember getting in the car and, like, I couldn't buckle my seatbelt just because my
mm,
hands were just, like, they were just there. Like,
mm,
they weren't attributing anything
mm.
to you know what I mean? So, uh, getting home was so nice,
Yeah.
and I was determined. My room is on the 2nd floor. My parents' room are on the first floor, and we were gonna switch rooms, like, I was just gonna sleep in my parents' room,
Mm.
and my mom or dad were gonna sleep in, my room, um, but I was determined to not let that happen.
You're like, "I'm
I
keeping my
wanted to get to
room."
my room,
Yeah.
yes, and I was able like, I could walk up the stairs strangely. I, like, had a way easier time walking up the stairs than I thought
Mm,
I was gonna have, so, coming down the stairs was a little bit questionable. I had to scoot down just because I was scared I was gonna fall or
mm,
something, but I slept in my bed. Um, we had one of my parents would sleep with me, like my mom or my dad.
mm,
Usually it was my dad because my mom's back was hurting because of my
mm,
bed or something, but,
mm,
um, which he's a very, he like, the covers are just, like, destroyed, like, everything's off the bed, and I'm just like, "Dad, you need to stay still when you're sleeping, please." But yeah, other than that, I was able to sleep in my own room. It was so nice to be
mm.
home, just for recovery, mental health. It was just so good.
Yeah. So you're back home now, and like we talked about before, you had been applying you're trying to go to college. You're
Mhm.
trying to go,
Yeah.
you are singing and
Yeah, yeah.
playing musical instruments, and now you find yourself in this position of like not being able to do what you were doing
Mhm.
just a few months prior.
Yeah.
So what what's going through your head as far as like what the future holds for you at that point?
Yeah, so, I guess, like, going back to again, so spring semester no, sorry, January, I was applying because I wasn't ready. I applied for all these colleges, Berkeley included. I didn't get the scholarship I wanted, and I didn't feel ready to go to college, so I decided to apply for fall. Um, Berkeley was the only school that I was able to or that I had to apply on Zoom.
Mhm.
So I applied on Zoom like the 22nd. At the time, I had neck pain. 2 days after I applied to Berkeley, I had the spinal cord stroke,
Mhm.
and that was one of the only colleges I could apply for. Like, our trip to in February to all the other colleges to audition was canceled.
Mhm.
Um, so and I didn't realize this until after. Like, I guess, like, thinking back, I'm like, "Oh, that was crazy 2 days before."
Yeah.
Um, and so I received my, like, acceptance letter in the hospital,
Hmm.
and then also that I received a full ride to Berkeley, which was like, "Oh my gosh.
That's
Wait, this is
awesome.
awesome." Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and at the time, I was just starting to sit up. Like,
Mm.
I couldn't balance. My parents had to hold me, or I had to, like, put my arms out just to, like, so I didn't fall over. Um, I couldn't, like, stand, like, I couldn't, I couldn't do so many things. I was just like, I was still bedridden, like, I could just sit up.
Yeah.
Um, and, like, my leg, I would let it hang off the bed, and then I would have to get momentum
Hmm.
to, like, bring it back on the bed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was very disabled at the
Wow.
time, and
And you're looking at an acceptance letter to
I
Berkeley.
was like, my dad came in the room, I was like, "Dad, but guess what?" And I told
Hmm.
him, and then we signed the declaration of intent that day.
Hmm.
I had no doubt in my mind that I was going. I also was talking to my mom. I was like looking at I was on trying to do stuff on the computer with my little nubs, the fingers,
Yeah.
Um, and I was like looking at like all this Berkeley stuff and like, oh, what do I need for college? And like I
Yeah.
was just so excited, and I kept talking to my mom. I kept telling her like, if I have like a leg limp, or like a limp in my leg, or if my fingers don't work, like which one would I prefer? Let me think. Like I think I'd prefer my like a limp in my leg, because then I could use my hands. And then or vice versa. I was like,
Yeah.
no, actually, I think I'd prefer to walk normally and not use my hands. I'd like go back and forth.
My gosh, playing these
I know.
playing these
And
scenarios.
I can't even stand at this point. Like,
Yeah.
or even like my fingers aren't working like at this point, and
Yeah.
I just have like, yeah, I'm going to go to Berkeley. I'm so determined. Um, and my mom, I think at the time was thinking, how am I going to live in Boston and Alaska and work and take care of my siblings? Like, how am I going to do all that?
Yeah.
Um, which I, ended up being able to live independently in college, which is just such a blessing. But so that was my
Yeah.
whole like college acceptance thing.
Yeah.
So I was going to go that fall. This is in like February,
Hmm.
and I can't walk, and I'm determined to go
Hmm.
that August to Berkeley.
Did your parents ever be like, "Hey, Claire, you want to like maybe think about this a little
Yeah.
bit?" I mean,
No.
thinking about like
Yeah.
if I was my daughter someday to
Mhm.
send her off to college would be hard enough as it is,
Yeah.
especially just growing up here. All you know is Alaska.
Mhm.
You're going all the way across the United States for the
Yeah.
first time to live by yourself. Oh, and you had this like spinal stroke that's completely changed your life that
Yeah.
you're still like figuring out what the new norm is for you.
Mhm.
I feel like I might have been like, "Are you
Little reality
sure?
check.
Are you sure
Yeah.
you want to do this?" Like, did they have
Yeah.
that talk with you at all, or was there like no doubt that this is what you were going to go do?
I don't think so. I think that they were like in full support, and if they did tell me that, I would have just told them to leave. Not really, but like I would say, "No, I'm going to go." It's
Trust
like,
me,
yeah,
I got it.
trust me.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I think that they were trying to keep, the a positive
totally.
environment, and they were, you know, I had this big dream. It kind of sounds
Yeah.
cringy, but
No,
I
I
had this big
mean,
dream of
we
going.
talked about in the beginning of this, just I mean, music and
Mhm.
performing and or writing music and
Yeah.
playing instruments was a huge part of your life, and so
Mhm.
that's still the case.
Yeah.
This whole thing did not change that
Yeah.
at any point in time,
Mhm.
and I think it's cool that they encourage that momentum
Mhm.
forward.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, I was like, because of the spinal stroke, I had bowel and bladder function like completely out the window. Like
Mm,
they just stopped working.
mm.
But I was, slowly improving with that. And I was telling my mom, I was like, even if I have to carry my Foley in my backpack, I will do that. I
You're
will
committed.
totally, yes, I was totally committed. I was, yeah, going to go. Um, and yeah, there's no doubt in my mind.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. All right. So, talk to me about that transition to Berkeley. You guys decided this is what's happening. This is where
Mhm.
we're going. Moving across the Alaska girls, moving across the country
Yeah, yeah.
to Boston.
Uh-huh.
What was that whole process like? Because like if you were to give yourself a like percentage of like 100% is what you were
Yeah. Mhm.
the day before this happened or
Yeah.
the day this happened,
Mhm.
and you flying off to Boston, where
Mhm.
were you at?
I would say like 50%. Like I
Mm,
was not. I was not I was good enough to go,
Yeah.
but just like overall strength was just not there, and it honestly is still not there. Like
Mm.
I'm definitely improving, but I'm very uh I think weaker than I look.
Mm.
It doesn't really look like I have any deficiencies, but
Mm.
I definitely do. But my mom and I flew to Connecticut because my great aunt lives there,
Okay.
and we visited her for a while, and then we she went with us to help me move into Berkeley dorms. So we moved in, and then they left. That was really hard, but I have grown a ton while being like since I've been at Berkeley. I'd say I definitely struggled with obviously different things, like not what other people don't struggle with. I
Mm.
struggled. Um, so like walking long distances or carrying heavy bags, I couldn't do.
Mm.
Um, bladder and bowel were questionable.
Mm.
I yeah, I would say it was really hard. Like I was really, really nervous. Well, I would say bladder has kept like has given me the most anxiety.
Mm.
Just because if I have to go to the bathroom, I need to go now. Like
Yeah.
I have 5 seconds, you know what
Mm.
I mean? Like,
Mhm.
or I need to sit down somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
so that was really like, I don't have anxiety or like, but that kind of gives me a little anxiety, and it's definitely way better. But that kind of kept me from, going places, walking with my friends to, I don't know, wherever.
Yeah.
It always made me really nervous. So, I I have a foot drop, both feet, but my left is worse. So I'm like always tripping.
Mm.
Not like fall. I don't fall a lot, but I mean I have, but
Mhm.
I you know trip on my foot a lot.
Mm.
The cold it's like I'm like a bug like put into the fridge. Like they slow down
Yeah.
when they
Yeah.
can't fly or whatever.
Yeah.
That's me in the cold. Like I just
Okay.
start slowing down and my hands don't work,
Oh
and
my
then my
gosh.
like feet, like I'm just like I'm very slow, and yeah, so it was hard. It was really hard, and I had a lot of OT,
Mm.
like occupational therapy for my hands, and doctor's appointments. I have tons of doctor's appointments
While you were in
while
Boston.
I'm in, every
Okay.
time, while I'm in Boston. Um, but I've had a great 3 semesters so far, and I'm excited. I know I'm challenged with certain things
Mhm.
physically, but like not being able to play the instrument or my instruments that I like to play, or not being able to play them as well.
Mhm.
But I think it's pushing me to grow in other areas,
Mm.
which um is really awesome. I'm just adapting, I
Mm.
think, and finding ways around things, and
Yeah.
you know, it makes it more special. What I'm doing more special, I think.
Totally. Totally. I think I remember a story of your mom telling me just like one of the more simple things of like the key to your room, trying to figure out a
Okay.
way that you can like
Yeah.
open or lock the door. I can't remember what it
Yeah.
was, or was it opening the
Yeah, it's just
door?
opening the door. Like you always have to open a lock to get into your
Okay,
room.
yeah.
Um, the key is like a normal key. I can't grab it with my thumb and turn it because my thumb is like really atrophied. My fingers are just like really not strong at all.
Mm.
And it hurts when I put it in between my pointer and my middle finger, it, like hurts it.
Mm.
And so I think we grabbed like a bag tag, like one of those
Oh,
plastic,
yeah.
and we cut like a groove for the key to go in, and then we taped it. And so I could hold it in between my middle and pointer finger and turn it.
Oh
It
my
didn't hurt
gosh.
me.
Yeah.
My dad did this last semester. We found these huge paper clips,
Mhm.
and so we put it on the end of the key and then wrapped it in duct tape.
Okay.
And so it's like this like really weird looking key on my keychain. Nobody's questioned it, which I'm very surprised.
Yeah, like, what is that for?
Yeah. I don't even think that they probably just think it's like a little like gadget or something
Sure.
on there. But um yeah, I don't really use it a lot just because we bolt our door, so
Mm.
it's like kind of always open. But that's the key
Yeah,
situation. Yeah.
wow.
Just simple things like that. It's just like, just simple
Yeah,
little things
man.
that are hard.
what was there any conversation with like the faculty at the school? Like, hey, so by the way, like
Mhm.
I got this acceptance letter when I was like
In the
in the
hospital,
hospital, like
like yeah.
basically barely able to get up, let
Uh-huh,
alone
yeah,
walk.
uh-huh.
What was that? What was that
Yeah,
like?
so we had an appointment with accommodations, the accommodation people, and we didn't really have a good experience with them. It
Hmm.
was very like she just didn't understand and we weren't getting like we asked for a room that was like right next to the bathroom.
Hmm.
And I was literally the furthest away from the bathroom, and so
Hmm.
every night, like 3 times a night, I have to go to the bathroom. It's a communal bathroom too,
Hmm.
and so I have to, like, it's really not that far, but in the middle of the night when you're trying to sleep, it's
Hmm.
a long ways,
Yeah.
and it was more than just that. She wasn't very understanding, and so we didn't get along very well.
Hmm.
Um, so I kind of just reached out to the professors. I kind of like scrapped the idea of going through accommodations, at least for like housing requests and stuff,
Yeah.
and just went straight to the teachers. Um, I guess we did reach out for like scheduling classes. I got the earliest schedule time because I explained I have a ton of doctor's appointments and I need to schedule around those appointments.
Yeah.
And so I did go through accommodations for that, but
Hmm.
I just try to um deal with it myself, and if I have to, I'll reach out to the professors
Yeah.
and deal with it with them.
Hmm.
Usually they're okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the expectation in when you go to a college or
Mhm.
school of music? You had to do these auditions just to get in,
Uh-huh.
right? And then you show up. Are they like, here, play this instrument, or
Yeah.
you're gonna sing? Like we haven't even
Mhm.
really talked about like what your diaphragm
Mhm.
is considered a muscle, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So your diaphragm's a muscle, and it's probably regaining function just like the rest of you
Uh-huh.
is, right?
Yeah.
So was there any like fear there? Like, oh, what if
Mhm.
I can't do what they expect me to do?
Yeah.
Or what if I can't perform like they want me to?
Mhm. So, when you go into Berkeley, the instrument that you auditioned with, you have to take 4 semesters of, private instruction.
Okay.
And then other than that, you can do any major you want, you can do anything you want. Um, you take, a test before your classes start, and you're placed in the correct level,
Mm.
the one that you tested into, basically, and, um, so we're not just, like, randomly placed or
Okay.
anything like that. For, uh, let me think, diaphragm, when I was in private instruction, I really loved my, private instructor, my voice teacher. She was really understanding, and I had to like hold the bottom of my chair.
Mm.
Because when you put like pressure, when you like push against something, you can strengthen like your core strength is like, you can,
Increased,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Mm.
So I had to like hold the bottom of my chair, and she let me sit down while singing. And I like slowly have been progressing, and I've definitely gotten way better
Mm.
than when I started with her. Um, and so that's kind of where I was at with singing.
Mm.
And also, what was helpful was Berkeley. I was classically trained, so that takes a lot of support,
Mm.
but Berkeley's primarily a jazz school, and
Mm.
so you don't use the same you use the same muscles, but in a different way
Okay.
for, like, jazz or folk or pop or whatever genre it is. You
Mm.
use, it differently. So I would say my classical training prepared me well because I had all of the all the techniques are just ingrained and I just like I naturally do it. Um and I know what's correct and what doesn't feel right and um the other genres don't require, at least I don't think they require as much um support, you
Okay.
know?
Mm.
Um so that has been really helpful, like
Mm.
not having to sing heavy opera
Yeah.
and I can, just do a jazz song or something.
Mm. Yeah.
We're required to do a jazz song.
Mm.
Um, and so, yeah, I think that's also something that's really cool about Berkeley.
Yeah. What was your, I guess, expectation of what to go to a school like that would entail? And then the reality of it,
Mhm.
like, is it as demanding as you thought it would be? Do you have more, um, freedom
Mhm.
to create things and
Yeah.
utilize things? Um,
Yeah. No, I can't really remember what I was expecting, to be honest.
mhm.
Like, I
I mean, yeah, to be fair, you had a lot going on.
yeah,
So when
I was kind of
when you went
focused
out
about
there.
yeah, I wasn't really focused. I mean, I was really excited to go, and I was, like, thinking about it a lot, but
Mhm,
I don't remember exactly what I was expecting when I got there.
okay.
Um,
Oh,
I I knew I was gonna do a lot of music,
mhm,
but yeah,
mhm.
that's
Was it cool to have other people, like, from around the country that were as passionate or,
mhm.
I don't know, maybe less passionate? I don't know,
Yeah,
like,
uh-huh.
what was your experience? Like, when you think about, "Oh, I'm gonna have all these people
Mhm.
from all over the place come to this one location
School,
that
yeah.
have as big of a love for music as I do."
Mhm.
Did you feel that? Like, these are my people?
Yeah, yes and no. I would say I have maybe different beliefs and different values, and, like, perspective
Hmm,
than a lot of the people there just because it's a very artsy school,
hmm,
and, um, so I think I definitely did find my people, and I actually more so found them this year than I did last year. Last year was kind of like, figuring it out.
yeah,
Testing the waters. Um, and I was trying to get ingrained in like have community, like
mm.
go to church and go to life group, and I was going to like other schools clubs.
Oh, cool.
I was like in their group chats. I don't know how I got in their group chats, but I just am.
Yeah.
And so I was really trying to like reach out and step out of my comfort zone.
Mhm,
um this year I've found a lot more people at Berkeley who are like-minded,
mhm,
which has been really helpful. But it is really cool seeing uh or it's really cool being at a gathering place for all of these people of different backgrounds and cultures and
mm,
places that I've never been. Like just like the music, their way of life, like it's just like all so interesting, and I
mm,
think it's really cool, and you learn a lot from them.
yeah.
Yeah.
What has your experience been like just living in Boston? Not being in Alaska,
Yeah.
like, well, we have like 60,000 people maybe on the
Yeah.
entire peninsula,
Yeah, yeah.
let alone going to a giant city like
Mhm.
Boston and then like
Yeah.
everything that entailed. What was
Uh-huh.
that like? Public transportation,
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
stuff.
I definitely miss driving when I go there. I'm not a huge fan of public transportation, like, the T, or bus. It's fine. It's just a lot more work to get places.
Mhm,
Um, and then also I have learned that you can almost never be alone, especially if you have a roommate.
mm.
You can never, unless you're in like the bathroom or like, uh, I can't even think of anywhere else you could be
Yeah,
alone. Like,
dang.
it's just so hard. Um, and I don't need a lot of alone time, but it is nice to,
Sure.
have, like, a room to yourself or,
Yeah.
get away from everybody. But those those 2 things I think are things that came as a shock. I didn't really expect that, I guess.
Mhm,
Um, living in the city, it's fine. It's a really nice part of town. It's really expensive there.
mhm.
I think it's one of the most expensive places to be in
Wow.
Boston.
Okay.
Um, I mean, yeah, the architecture is really cool.
Mm,
There's a lot of brick, a lot of, yeah, cool
mm.
buildings.
History.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's pretty clean, I'd say.
Mm.
Uh, if I was to live in a city, I'd choose Boston
Cool.
over a lot of other
Other
places.
places, yeah, other
Uh-huh.
options.
Yeah, but I definitely prefer Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is your major? What is your
Mhm.
focus when it comes to what you're doing there?
So, my original plan was to do professional music, which is a make your own major.
Mm,
You get to have up to 3 concentrations. Um, and I was just gonna do that. I was gonna just try to do as much as I could. I came in with a ton of transfer credits, and then I also tested out of some classes, so I had a lot of room.
cool.
One of my concentrations was film and media scoring, which is like making music for film.
Mm,
And I was like, I'm really interested in this. why don't I just make it a major? So I'm double majoring. I'm doing film and media scoring, and then I'm doing professional music with a concentration in songwriting, composition, and I think I'm going to add CWP, which is contemporary writing and production.
Okay.
So it's like focusing on composing, arranging, and the production side of it as well. So I think I'm going to add that. And then I can, I have a little bit extra room, I think. I can add like, oh, I'd like to take this class. Like, I'm just trying to do as much as I can while I'm there because I'm never going to get this time back and opportunity back. Yeah, exactly. So, so I'm just trying to like fill my, like, a little bit of pain for a little bit of stress is going to be okay.
Yeah.
I've dealt with harder things in my life. So,
Yes, ma'am.
so I'm just trying to do as much as I can while I'm there and have the opportunity.
Do you think you've been given more resources to expand what you're capable of there?
Definitely. Yeah.
Either through knowledge or just through the resources that are available to you there through the school?
Alaska is definitely not the place to be if you want to pursue music. It's not the place at all to be. Berkeley has definitely opened up a lot of opportunities, and I think we'll continue to do so. I really want to try to get more into I kind of had the mindset while in Berkeley. I was like, if I don't feel ready to release music or if I don't feel ready to do all these things, and I don't think that I have to, like, I want to feel ready to do them. But I think recently I've come to the realization, mainly because of Anderson, that I'm never going to be ready to, I'm never going to have the perfect song, or it's never going to be like perfectly mixed or produced, or, that's just not, ideal. Like, that's just not what it's going to be. So I think I'm going to try to release some songs this year. I'm going to try to, kind of integrate myself more into like creating at Berkeley and try to make opportunities for myself instead of letting them come to me. I need to like, break down some doors.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, what I've been trying to do since this year. Yeah.
I think it's cool because when I reached out to you, you're like, I asked you, you have social media? And you're like, well, I kind of have an Instagram, but there's like, I don't, you're like, I just kind of keep to myself. Which sometimes you get people that are into music and it's almost the opposite. They want to be out in the, performing and, I want to be the next Taylor Swift yesterday. And I want everyone to know that. And they take that approach to where they're creating nonstop, right? I think it's really cool and really unique that you've taken a different approach and you're developing. I mean, you already have the talent and the skill, and we're going to kind of get into some of the stuff that you've been working on while you've just been at school.
Yeah.
But you're kind of building this different.
Just going about it.
The word that comes to mind is different brand, but
No, I get what you're saying.
I think it's cool the approach that you're taking with music is not just your traditional performer that you're going to maybe see at a concert or on the radio, but you're looking into like cinema and like bigger like, and we'll get into some of the stuff that you do, and it's like the stuff that you have created, like it's big. It's like epic. It has an epic feel to it. And it puts, every time I listen to it, I've told your mom this many times, it puts me in a moment just by listening to it. I feel like that's kind of what you're after.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If you're making music for cinema and for in the big screen and all those different, but it's because you, I think, are growing as a songwriter and as a composer, and your brain works differently to be able to put all of that together, which has been really cool.
No, and that's like the cool thing about me going to Berkeley is because I'm classically trained. I love orchestral writing. Like, I just love the orchestra. And like I said, Berkeley is mainly like jazz and not classical. They're partnered with Boston Conservatory at Berkeley.
Okay.
So it's more of the classical side. But I knew if I went to the conservatory, like, I was not going to like it. And so me being at Berkeley, predominantly jazz school, and coming in with like making these classical And I've kind of stepped it more into my element, like, I'm not gonna do what everyone else does. I
Mm.
like this thing that's different than a lot of
Mhm.
people here at Berkeley, so I'm gonna just, like, put my all into it and you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, it's cool. It kind of I don't know if it makes me stand out, but it's, like, different, I
Mhm.
think, than what, like, professors don't generally hear
Yeah.
this stuff from their
Mhm.
students. So I guess it makes me stand out in a way, um, and I love doing it. Like, I've been given the resources, and
Mhm.
I'm just beginning to thrive.
Yeah, for sure. So I wanna get into some of the stuff that you've, been creating over here. These are just
Yeah.
what you sent me. These are just, like, assignments, right?
Yeah, and
Li
I like, these songs need some fixing. Like, they need a little work, but yeah,
For the layman, I'm sure I mean, as a creator, as an artist, as a musician,
yeah,
I totally understand that sentiment. Um, but as my listeners will hear right now, this stuff is pretty awesome.
yeah,
Tell
thank
me
you.
what like so some of these were assignments.
Mhm,
Um, what is like a I guess a generalization of like a professor may give you with some guidelines, and
mhm.
then how much creative freedom do you have to be able to create?
Um, so for most of my classes, I don't have total freedom. For a lot of my classes, we learn something and then we're given like a project or an assignment and we have to apply what we learned to the assignment or project.
Mm,
So usually there are restrictions, or like you have to include this, but you can do
okay.
whatever you want.
Mm,
Um, and so that's kind of how it is with most of my classes. I did take a Pro Tools course, which is like a software for making music,
okay.
and we were learning how to like edit vocals and like what how to add reverb and how to
Mm,
do all these things. And so I was given total like do whatever you want. It's
mhm.
just the editing part that you
I
need. You
see.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's honestly where I created a lot of my projects. I was just like, you know, it's like letting me run wild,
Yeah.
like, which was so fun. It really it made me really more like a lot more passionate and
Mm,
a lot more like really excited to make a
cool.
project instead of just like, oh, I have to do this project and
Yeah.
I just, I have to do this and
Mhm.
putting the bare minimum amount
Totally.
like, effort in. But yeah, it makes me just go all in.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it comes through. It comes through in
Yeah,
what you're
thank you.
putting out. So let's get into it. Put on the headphones.
Hey.
This first one, I'm just gonna. If you want to say something, you
Mhm.
can kind of give some commentary on it.
Yeah.
If you want us just to enjoy and listen, we'll do that. We'll play a little
Okay.
bit of a couple of these. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Epic.
Thank you.
Like seriously. Like
Thanks.
seriously. Like yeah. I gosh, I so many different. I listen to that, and what it makes you feel
Mm,
can be just placed in so many different types of like scenarios,
yeah, yeah.
scenes,
Mhm.
emotions that it draws out.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
What were the guidelines for that assignment?
So that was one of my Pro Tools assignments. So I was given total freedom. I kind of I was listening to a lot of Hans Zimmer at the time.
Yes.
So it was inspired by Carl Jenkins. Do
Okay.
you know?
I
Okay.
don't know Carl Jenkins. Hans Zimmer, I've
He
heard.
does Lux. He does some really cool songs, kind of like this. And then Hans Zimmer, it's off of The Burning Bush, off of the movie, is it Moses? I think
Oh, okay.
it's off of The Prince of Egypt.
Prince of Egypt. Okay.
It's so there's a song called The Burning Bush, and I was listening to that. I was like, ooh, that's really cool. Let me
Mhm.
try something like that. So I just
Start to finish, that's all you. Vocals.
yeah, I did everything. Yep.
Every piece of that
Mhm.
is your composition.
And it's I've always had this, like, I don't know what you'd call it, like this saying, like, when I compose music, I want to make people cry.
A mantra.
Yes.
That's your mantra.
I want to make people cry when I
Well, good
listening to
job, because
so I'm hopefully
like I
yes.
said, it hits right in the chest. Oh,
Yeah.
and also, Claire, you didn't tell us you can sing in other languages.
This is in Latin. Thank you, Google Translate. Yeah,
But
I did my best.
But it sounds, I mean, I don't speak Latin, but I know what good sounds like,
Yeah.
and that sounds
thank you.
pretty dang good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know I should have warned. And actually, I'm glad I didn't warn people that, like, yeah,
Came as a surprise.
there's gonna be
So if
another
you think
one.
you're crazy, you're not crazy.
No,
It's in a
singing
different language.
in Latin, that is amazing.
Yeah, I felt that it fit the I don't know, the vibe, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
I love that one.
Yeah, thank you. This is probably one of my favorites.
So I love this for sure, because it feels just so big. It does have a Hans Zimmer, like, this is a big moment. This is a big, lots of emotion, lots of, something big is happening.
Yeah.
And it hits you right in the chest. And yeah, a little bit longer, man, maybe it would stir up a tear in my eye. So this next one I do love a lot, because there's two layers to it, at least that when I listen to it, I really like. So let's go ahead and listen to this one next.
Okay.
I feel the westward sun shine through the curtain. The fog has just begun. Roll across the meadow. Are you waiting? Are we waiting? For the world, oh, are we waiting for the world, oh, are we waiting for the world to say? Walking down the Shire, I hear the bells of even day. When will we walk into the life we want? Are we running there today? In time the sun will go to sleep, and the sheep will jump the fences in our dreams, in our dreams. Walking down the Shire, I hear the bells of even day. When will we walk into the life we want? Are we running there today? In time the sun will go to sleep, and the sheep will jump the fences in our dreams, in our dreams.
So this one was a drone, is that right? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, the assignment was it was one of my songwriting classes,
Okay.
and we had to create, first it was create a melody, only a melody, no other voices, have a drone and create a melody. And then we kind of built off of that for the next assignment, and it was add harmony. And so I would have never done something like that, but those restrictions,
Yeah.
kind of allowed my creativity to
Totally
conspire.
Yeah. So the beginning portion of that? Is that what's considered like the drone
Mhm.
part of it, and then the
Yeah, the
melody?
cello.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh man! So the beginning, when I first listened to that one, I was immediately, I'm a Lord of the Rings nerd. And I
Oh,
was like,
yes.
it very much fit that, like,
Enya. Have you heard Enya?
yes, yep,
Yep. No, that was totally my inspiration. Like
cool,
Enya, Celtic,
yep,
like Irish. Yeah.
you nailed it.
Thanks.
And and that's what's awesome too. So this was in English,
Mhm.
but you did capture like that Irish like
Yeah.
accent or
did my
Scottish.
best.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm terrible with
Yeah.
accents, but you did. It wasn't your obviously normal
Normal,
speaking
voice.
or
Yeah.
singing voice. But yeah, you just like, it
Thank you.
sounds like probably exactly how you intended to.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Cute.
So cool. All right, let's do another one.
Alrighty.
This next one here is another fave of mine. Again, just so big. Also in another language. What language is this in?
Is this the classical one?
Yeah.
This is in Italian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, nailed it. Like, sounds so good.
Thank you.
All right, let's go for it.
Il figlio di questa nazione combattuto, il sangue del suo sacrificio è stato versato, le sue grida hanno recheggiato in cielo, i caduti non sono stati in vano, abbiamo gridato ascoltato la nostra grande disperazione e lei ha sentito la nostra sofferenza. Perché è spuntata il velo si è strovato la misericordia di Dio ci ha salvato.
So good.
Thank you.
I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That's an older movie.
I
But
don't think so.
it's like, I think there's a scene in that movie where they're like dancing and it's like kind of intimate, but they're angry with one another.
Yeah.
And there's like this, if I'm remembering it, if it's this movie or not, I could be totally
Yeah.
off. It just
It's kind of intense, a little
Yeah.
like tension, a little tension.
It is. There is a little tension with it. And I think that's what it took me to, was this, like, because it's like delicate, but it's tense.
Mhm.
And I think it took me to that
Mhm.
movie scene, because that's exactly what that scene was. It was like
Yeah.
a
I mean, it's
an
in
intimate
minor,
thing, but
so that's
tense.
probably why too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that one too.
Thank
And
you.
that one definitely gave me like you think about those World War II timepieces of like Nazi Germany
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
that, like, again, playing on the heartstrings
Oh, yeah.
there, you know, I could definitely feel
Yeah.
that emotion coming through.
Yeah.
So
yeah, thank you.
with that one, did we already talk about what the guidelines were for that?
That one, I think that one was for my Pro Tools class as well.
Okay.
So I kind of could do anything.
Yeah.
I just had to, have a specific amount of voices. And so I did, one of the requirements was to double the voices. So that's why there's 2 voices on
Okay.
the chorus, which I don't think I'd pick that if it was my choice, but,
Okay.
total freedom and
Yeah. Have you
everything else.
sang in Italian before?
Yes, with with Audra Calloway, I have done a lot of Italian pieces, and so I'm more familiar with that.
It sounded so good.
Yeah,
Claire.
thank you.
It's so awesome.
Thanks.
and it seems effortless, at least listening to it. I know you have. I mean, this has been your life in a lot of ways, but knowing what you're doing now, based off of what you've just recently come out of in the last couple of years, of being able to, find your voice again, and how much piano are you able to play now in composing these, or are you using it primarily like digitally?
So I can play piano. I have to wear braces to be able to play on certain fingers.
Mhm.
Um, I play on a MIDI keyboard.
Okay.
And so I don't have to play the whole thing through.
Mhm.
I can kind of chop it up and
Yeah.
just play a little part and then, like practice the next part and then play it, record it, and then, keep doing that in
Gotcha.
sections.
Okay.
So that really helps a lot.
Okay.
But I am limited in what I'm able to do. Like certain chords I can't press just because my muscles aren't strong enough, or I can't do anything fast,
Mm.
or arpeggiating, like going up and down the piano is
Okay.
hard.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty restricted, but I'm making do with what I can do.
Oh, for
I guess.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure you are. Okay, one more.
Yeah.
This one's fun. Just coming off the. How about we talk about this one first and then we'll play it.
Okay.
So this is the Whoville
Christmas in Whoville.
Christmas in Whoville song.
Yes.
So what were the guidelines there?
This was for my lyric writing class, I think.
Okay.
I think the assignment was just, I don't even think that we had. Oh yeah, it was a verse refrain. Wait, I don't even remember the requirements for this,
Okay.
but this was totally unexpected. Very unexpected, very unlike what everybody else does. You just like play your guitar and sing, or
Mhm.
piano, and but yeah, I decided to I didn't have a Pro Tools project due that week, so I was like, just go all out for my lyric writing, I guess.
Awesome.
It was very stressful, but it was, it's fun.
Here we go. I love the voices in this one.
Thank you.
Flitter, flutter, snowflakes falling, hear the songs of Christmas call. Children waiting for this time of Christmas. My heart is jingling all the way. Excitement builds as Frosty's on his way. Rumors going round and round. Santa said he'll be in town. Don't forget to put the cookies on the tray. Jumping up every spruce inside. Watch out, boys, they come down with great might. Elves are working overtime, making sure that toy of mine is finished by Christmas Day.
So good.
Thanks.
It's so good. Dr.
Thank you.
Seuss himself
Yes.
is going to be calling you up on that one.
Yes.
We can ditch the headphones now if you want to.
Alrighty.
So I get these, I still work with your mom,
Uh-huh.
and she keeps up to date with all, different assignments that you're working on. And
Yeah.
she's like, Manny, you have to listen to this one. And so many times, like with a lot of those, like with I think the first one was like a lullaby.
Yeah.
The drone, the classical one. I'm
Mhm.
just like, just like looking off into outer space,
Yeah.
like just because
Zoning out, yeah.
they're just so big, and you've done
thank
such
you.
a good job in trying to evoke that emotion.
Yeah, thanks.
And having all the different pieces and the way that you compose it. I don't even know all the musical terminology to be able to describe it, but I know
Yeah.
how it feels. And I think that's
Yeah.
what your intent is. When
Yeah,
you were the
mhm.
artist, when you were the master behind songwriting and composition, you're trying to create that for the people that are
Mhm.
listening to
Yeah.
be able to experience something.
Yeah,
And
yeah, exactly.
if
Yeah.
that's the goal, you're nailing it.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
So you have kind of adjusted your major while you were over there. So
Mhm.
you're kind of working on or adding some new ones.
Mhm.
Have you found a new love for any specific area of music or songwriting or composition or instruments or sounds or anything like that from
Mhm.
when you first left?
Yeah. I never really thought about going into film, and I'm not going into like I'm not majoring in film because that's what I want to do when I get out. I think it'd be cool,
Mhm.
but it's mainly because of the classes that they offer. And so I am film is something that I didn't really consider beforehand. Also, I'm composing a lot more. It really helps to have a deadline for me.
Mhm.
Just like you have to get it done whether you want to do it or not. by this date.
Mhm.
And so it really forces me to work on stuff and to finish songs, because finishing is so hard to do with music. You just like, you either don't feel inspired, or you're like stuck, or you're,
Mm.
whatever it is, there's some reason that you didn't finish it. And so having a deadline really helps. I would say that, yeah, the main thing is film. I've also really experimented a lot more with other genres,
Hmm.
which I didn't really do as much before. And it's, I mean, I think I'm gonna pursue some of those,
Mhm.
make songs in other genres and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I'm forced to do that, and so I am excited for what that, I don't know, entails for the future, I guess.
Yeah. 'Cause your background was like classical, right?
Yeah.
And then like you as a kid were like singing opera, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Like,
super
yeah,
strong
classical.
voice,
hmm
like classical music. And so do a lot of your classmates just like guitar
hmm
and sing? Are they do you think that there's as much um you kind of admitted with like especially with this one, like with the Christmas one, you're like,
Uh-huh.
you know what? Just
Yeah.
throwing myself like
Yeah. Yeah.
all this all the tricks for this is the same kind of excitement there or I don't know. I'm
Like
trying.
for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it depends. It definitely depends on the person. Like there are some people who um do not necessarily more, but it feels like more
Mm-hmm.
for their music. Um like just like producing it and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And mixing and all that stuff. And then some people just, they play guitar and they sing, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just their thing.
Okay.
Um so there definitely are some people that uh do stuff like this. I would say mine is more because I love orchestra. I'm like, more in the like, oh, I like
Mm.
epic, like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I like all this different stuff. And so, um, yeah, I think it just depends on the person,
Yeah.
I think,
That makes sense.
I don't know.
So listening to this now, like some of the stuff that you're creating, just in this, you're in school, you're
hmm
learning, you're growing, you're still recovering from this crazy experience that we
hmm
talked about earlier. I think that's what makes what you're putting out now like that much more
Thank
like
you. Yeah.
amazing and special
Yeah.
and such a gift to be able to create like this,
hmm
knowing that
Yeah.
like all of this was wrapped up inside of you and
I know.
almost for a second like we might not have got this,
Yeah.
And so realizing just your motivation to continue to press forward
hmm
and continue to um, not let anything hold you back.
Yeah.
You're laser focused
Yeah. Thank you.
on getting to this point, and so
Seriously.
it's awesome to be able to hear it. Just a sample of
Yeah.
what that could look like, even as someone that's still technically a student.
hmm
Um, do you recognize that like maybe other people might have quit in your position and just thrown in the towel? Like, do you
Uh-huh.
see that like if this were to happen to someone else, they might have been like, you know what, I'm just gonna throw in the towel. Maybe that wasn't in the plans for me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I actually have been thinking about this question, and this one's kind of hard just because I don't know. I mean, I don't know a ton of disabled people or
Mhm.
people who have been in my position. The guy I met, I don't think I said this on here, but I met a guy in Texas.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead if you want to talk about that. You met
Yeah.
someone that was kind of in a similar spot as you.
Yeah. So we were in Texas for spring break, and um we went to a rodeo, and these people next to us were taking a selfie, and my mom and I photobombed.
Mhm.
We were like, making funny faces or whatever, and they started laughing, and so we got to talking. The people behind us, they were older, um, they started also talking to us as well, and the more we talked, they mentioned that he the man, he had a spinal cord stroke. He broke his back, and I think he fell off of a ladder, I want to say.
Hmm.
And he broke his back at C6,
Hmm.
which is very similar to where I had my injury. Mine was C4 to T2, I believe. But he lost a lot of the same things that I lost, and honestly, I have improved more than he has, even in this short amount of time.
Hmm.
But he was telling me, we were like trauma bonding, it's so nice to find somebody that, you know, you can relate to and who's gone through like a similar experience. And so we were talking and I was asking him all these questions about like, oh, did you lose this muscle? Like, oh, has it come back yet? Like, what are you still able to do and all this stuff. And he was telling me how he like was determined to improve. He woke up at 4:30, I think, every single day. He had a personal trainer. He was, you know, this scrawny dude and a huge t-shirt like in the gym, and all these like big muscly guys were helping him like work out and all this stuff. And I was just thinking like he just worked so hard. So I think like a lot of times, at least from the people that I know, I guess it depends on the person, but in mine and his case, we didn't quit, and if we did, I would have probably had to eventually quitting, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
just to improve my quality of life. My mom was in the hospital the other day, and she saw this guy that had transverse myelitis, which is something that they thought that I had. And he was saying how he was just so depressed in the hospital and he just gave up. Like, he refused to accept any help, no physical therapy, no OT, like no nothing. And now he's better, but he's not fully recovered. Like, he's in a wheelchair, and he realizes now that he missed his window of improvement and his quality of life has gone down. Now he's trying to improve his quality of life. He's trying to, you know, get back on his feet and all of that. But it can really like affect your life in a negative way.
Yeah.
And so I think it goes both ways. It just depends on the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What would you say to someone that is, let's say they're on day one of, you know, after the spinal stroke for you, and you're sitting in a hospital bed on day one, not knowing all these hopes and dreams you had for your life and not knowing what the future holds? What is your advice to that person that might find themselves in a similar position?
I would say for me, something that was just really foundational was just trusting in God and knowing that he was going to do whatever he was going to do. And I had no control over that. And I am only human. I can only understand so much. There's probably a lot going on behind the scenes that I don't know about. And so just trusting that good was going to come out of it, regardless of if I or anybody else saw it or not. That was something that really was important, probably the most important thing. Like, I've been kind of thinking about this. Like, I love to play instruments. I love to, you know, join the orchestra and band and all of that. And maybe like if I was totally fine, I would have joined the orchestra or whatever in like clubs in college. And maybe he didn't want me to focus so much on that. Maybe he wanted to redirect my focus and, you know, help me improve in another area.
Yeah.
And so just like the reason, I don't know, but knowing that he is good and he is just, and it's, you know, it's all going to be okay, is really important. Also, another thing I would say is to take control of your emotions and your reactions to the situation is also really important, just because it can like completely change everything. Like, I think it can even change the way that doctors treat you and help you, just whether it's subconscious or not. Like, you know, being kind and grateful and just thanking them for helping you, just it can, and like basically becoming friends with your doctors can really, like, you become somebody that they want to help, and you're not a person that they need to help. They're somebody that they want to help, you know?
It changes the atmosphere for sure.
Exactly. And it changes, everything around you, like the way, just, I think it's really important to take control of your emotions. Those
are great advice. And I like what you said, that God's going to do what he's going to do. And to let him do that, because I think the frustration could come when you're like,
you're not in control.
Yeah. And you're trying to get
you're
in
trying
control.
to control the boat. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that can just make it more frustrating. So
exactly.
Again, super mature for you to realize that,
Thank
Clare
you.
Henry, at such a young age, and teaching, I know, many, many people around you feel the same way. We lot to learn from your attitude and your perspective on life for
Yeah,
sure.
thank you.
It's super cool. So what are you most, looking back on the last 2 years, what are you the most proud of as you reflect on just the last couple years on from what happened to where you're at now?
I guess I don't know. I'm really proud of the community that we have
Mm.
in on the Kenai Peninsula. It's just been like a huge support, so much encouragement. I'm really proud to be surrounded and a part of that, or in part of that.
Mm.
I would also say, not like tooting my own horn, but I am proud of myself
Yeah.
for pushing on. And
In the words of Snoop Dogg,
yeah.
I would like to thank me.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh. No, yeah, I would like to thank me. I am, very proud of how hard I worked and how hard I am working, continuing to work. And then, I'm really grateful for my parents. Like, I would not be here where I am. Like, I would not have as much or have had as much improvement if it wasn't for them.
That's awesome.
No.
Yeah, I think I've seen just working in healthcare, you have scenarios where you have these difficult things that happen to people, like kids specifically, and then it can go either way. You either have parents that absolutely step up, and it's almost like they were created to be the support for this child.
Yeah.
And then you have the opposite of like you have someone that really needs somebody and they don't have that, and it can go one of two ways.
Yeah. No,
I've seen it both, and
yeah.
to see what you have with your parents is
Thank you.
awesome.
No, I think that they were specifically chosen to be my parents for this reason.
Totally.
Yeah.
This question seems silly now that I just have talked with you and
That's right.
got to hear from you yourself, but does your experience change how you define what is possible?
I don't think that it changes what I define or what I would define or what is possible. I would say maybe I have a deeper understanding of it. Like I have a different perspective. But I think that it just has a deeper meaning now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all believe you too. I think you could say you're going to go do anything and we're going to be like, well, I'm not going to get in the way of whatever Claire's going to do.
Watch out.
Yeah, watch out. So looking ahead, how much time do you have left at Berkeley?
I'm in my sophomore year, so I have about 2.5 years left.
Okay.
So I'll go on to after this Christmas break, I'll go to my 4th semester, and then I'll have 4 more semesters after that.
Okay, cool.
So junior and senior year.
It's kind of hard to speculate at this point maybe for you, so don't feel like you have to give an answer.
Yeah. But
at least from where you're at now, as you look ahead, what are your hopes for the future after you finish school and what could be next?
Yeah. I don't know exactly what I want to do. I have some things that I'm interested in. I obviously want music to be part of my, career, just because I love doing that. I'm not like looking to be famous or anything. I think it'd be cool to have my music be well known, but like I don't think I'd want like the famous, you know what I mean, like that part of it. I don't know. I love composing. I love singing. I think film would be cool. Maybe I could do it all. I don't know. Like I am just kind of waiting I need to, make opportunities for myself and also wait for opportunities to arise.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not sure at this point. I'm thinking that I'll figure it out a little bit later. Yeah.
I think it's no question as opportunities reveal themselves to you that the tenacity required for them is there within you.
Yeah,
so,
thank you.
I think you're at an awesome point right now.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No pressure to,
yeah, I know.
to have the rest of your life mapped out by any means.
Yeah.
But between your faith and what you have proven to yourself, what you have accomplished this far, I think that's only going to be wind in your sails as you go forward for sure. So I know so many people are rooting for you, and I'm thankful just to be able to kind of catalog this in a small way.
Oh, this is great.
Just to be able to capture that.
Yeah, thanks.
because I think it's a really special story that you
Yeah.
probably wouldn't read about in the national headlines or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's kind of stuff like this I think happens every day.
I
And
know.
it's cool to be able to sit down with someone and just hear it firsthand.
No,
For
yeah, the
sure.
older I get, the more I realize that everybody goes through some crap,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. So one of the things I always do to close out the show, it's usually like the last question I ask is if there is any Alaskan, any person that you
Would
think would
like
be
to
a
see
cool,
on the
cool
podcast?
conversation on the podcast.
Okay. So, do you know Dean Robinson?
Dean Robinson. No.
So he goes into, I guess I know him because he goes into St. Elias a lot.
Okay.
But him and his family were one of the like original homesteaders on the peninsula.
Okay.
And so I was talking with my parents about this. I think it'd be cool to see like a little posse of people who were like foundational to the Kenai Peninsula.
Totally.
So there's Dean Robinson. And then I think you might know Marcella.
Yeah. I work with Marcella.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think that their family has
her mom
her mo-
homesteaded on the peninsula. Yeah.
So I'm sure there are more people that could contribute to that conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that'd be cool.
I think it is,
especially
cool.
for this podcast.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I kind of want to go overtake the senior homes on the
you
peninsula.
should. Wait,
honestly,
that'd be awesome.
I need to figure out a good mobile setup would be best, because I think about them like coming down my stairs. I'm like, I feel so bad, like like a 99-year-old lady having to come down my stairs at my house. But I think that's a great suggestion, and I like the idea behind it too. I think that there's awesome stories about those people that kind of established here early on the peninsula, for sure. Well, Clare Henry, thank you so much.
Thanks
for giving me the opportunity to just share your story.
Thanks. I never thought I'd ever do something like this. So thanks for the invitation.
Of course. And nothing but good things for you in the future. You'll have to keep us posted.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty. Thank you.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider supporting the show by joining me on social media. Each week, I share the most thought-provoking, jaw-dropping, or just interesting moments from conversations just like you heard today. I'm currently on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at The State I Am In Podcast. Engaging with me on social media by liking, sharing, reposting, and commenting what you think is a simple and cost-free way to help other Alaskans and people everywhere find these conversations. You can also subscribe on YouTube and wherever you're listening to podcasts, whether that's Spotify, Apple, or iHeartRadio, wherever. Be sure to leave a review. These small actions really do make a huge difference. I'm committed to growing the state I'm in by sharing thoughtful, honest conversations and voices from all across Alaska. And if you or someone you know has a story that reflects Alaska beyond the postcards, gift shops, and tourist traps, I'd love to hear from you. Now, more than ever, I believe sharing the voices of our fellow Alaskans truly matters, and I will continue to do this work for as long as there are people willing to sit down and share meaningful conversations. Keep North Alaska, and thank you for joining me on The State I Am In.